it's Cassie Hicks here, and I wanted to broach a subject today that some of you might resonate with. And the question of the day is, are you overthinking your marketing? Now, what does it actually mean to overthink your marketing? So if you've ever felt like you're not quite sure what to post, or you've put together a plan based on what you think you should be doing, but it doesn't really flow, it feels a bit forced, it feels a bit like you're having to work quite hard to put your content together, then you're probably overthinking your marketing. And what happens when you start overthinking is you get very much stuck in your own head. And how am I qualified to talk about this? Because I am the master of overthinking things. This is something I've had to really do a lot of work on. So what happens when you overthink is you get stuck in your own head, and you get that feeling like you're spinning in circles because you're trying to use your logical brain to help you move forward. So whether let's talk about creating content for social media, you're thinking, okay, I've got to put a post together, and what should I say? Oh, I need to say this, or I need to say that. And you just, you start thinking. And then the problem with overthinking as well, and some of you will be really able to relate to this. If you don't, you're really lucky. When you start overthinking, your little voice goes in your head as well. So your little voice goes, oh, I don't know if that's really interesting enough, or no one's going to engage with that. And you get that little voice and those doubts, you get that little nagging feeling of, oh, I don't know if this is good enough to go out there. Hello, if you're joining me live, I'd love to know your thoughts on this too. Are you an overthinker, or is it just me? So yeah, when you're overthinking, you've got that little voice going in your head. You start doubting yourself. You start comparing yourself. You think, I'm not really sure. I'll have a look and see what everyone else is doing. And that's one of the worst things you can do, is the whole comparisonitis. So, you doubt yourself, and so you think, oh, look at what everyone else is doing. And of course, social media, if you've got any uncertainty about yourself or your content or what you're doing, and you go on social media and look at what everyone else is doing, of course, everyone on social media has got a perfect life, haven't they? All their marketing's working. They look glamorous and glossy and amazing. They've got perfect families and lives. They're having the perfect holiday. And it's not true, but it's still really hard. You look at all that stuff and you think, well, my stuff's just not good enough. So I'll do nothing, or I'll put something out. I'm not really that happy with it, but someone said I've got to post every day, so I better put something out there. So who can relate to the overthinking? Say, I'm the absolute queen of overthinking, and I've had to do a lot of work on myself to get myself out of this sort of logical, mental side of marketing. Yeah, I guess, thanks Sally for being so honest. Yeah, it's so easy to get stuck in your own head, isn't it? So yeah, exactly. Yeah, and of course, I'm one of the people that says you need to be consistent and unique with your content. And there's a way to do that, but it's you've got to get out of your own head, basically. So how do you do that? And you'll hear some people talking about heart-centered businesses, and you get out of your head and come from the heart, or come from your, tap into your higher self, your inner guidance. And that's exactly what you need to do. And it's actually harder to do than it sounds. And it's something that does take practice. And I think this is something that I know from all the training and sort of self-development that I've done. It's not a one-step process. It's not a sort of, here's this remedy overnight. You're going to go from being an overthinker to, being totally in flow every time you work on your social media. It's definitely a process. And, it'd be wrong of anyone to say that overnight you can just sort this out. There's a scale, like anything in life, of, on one side is being an overthinker and being really stuck in your head. And then the other side is being sort of totally in flow with the universe, and totally in flow with, with what you're here to do on this earth, and totally in alignment. So I think the realistic way to get out of your own head is to do it gradually, and also to sort of to be quite gentle with yourself and just realize that it is a process, and be kind to yourself. But really, to get out of your own head, you need to be able to trust yourself, because the reason that you're overthinking and doubting yourself and questioning and am I good enough, shall I post it, what are people going to think, and all of that's because at a deeper level it's about how much you trust yourself. Because when you are completely, as Esther Hicks says, tapped in, tuned in, there's something else beginning with a T, tapped in, tuned in, something in, when you've got everything in alignment, when you've got everything, when you're working in flow, as it were, you've got that high vibe, high energy thing going, it becomes really easy, and you can create your content for social media and your marketing really, really easily, and it just flows out of you. And I love that. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed a difference in my marketing content, but I only now create content, I only share content and create content when I feel in the right place. So if I feel like I'm in my head and I'm overthinking and doubting myself, then that's the worst place to be trying to create any content. So best thing I can recommend, and again, this isn't an overnight process, this is it's a daily practice, is to have a morning practice. It's much better to do this stuff in the morning to get your energy really high. And I was thinking about this yesterday, and I don't know, my son used to play a lot of Xbox games, typical teenage boy, lots of Xbox. And have you seen those games on the Xbox where you've got a power pack, and if you get shot by the enemy, or someone throws a grenade at you, the energy bars go down, don't they? And then if you find the gold coins or you find the treasure map in the game, the energy bars go up again. And it's a bit like that in life. So what we need to do as marketers, or when we're doing our marketing and our social medias, we want to make sure our energy is really high and we're coming from that high vibe place, because then your energy's flowing and you're much more in alignment than, if your energy's, what it's like if you try and do anything creative when you're having a bad day, or, if you're in pain, or your energy's low, or you just, you've eaten a load of crap and you just feel crappy. It's not a good place to be coming from, is it? So what I recommend is to have a morning routine where you boost your energy, you get yourself into that high vibe, and that takes you out of your head. So you're going in a higher vibe, but you're getting out of your head and you're coming much more from your intuition, if you like. And that's when things start to flow and start to get easier. So there's lots of different ways to do that. But if you spend that time to work on yourself, so it's pretty much doing the inner work before you think about the outer work, because that's one of the problems with overthinking, is that you're very much driven by external factors. So you're thinking, what will people think of me? Is this good enough? What have I been told to do? What's everyone else doing? It's all very external stuff, whereas actually it might sound counterintuitive, but to get out of your head and to actually create content that really connects with people on a emotional, spiritual level, you need to actually do the inner work first. So I'm not telling you anything you probably don't already know, but I'm just telling you from my own experience that this makes the biggest difference. And also being able to recognize, so if you start to recognize, oh, I'm having these doubts, I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing, I'm going around in circles, all this, if you feel confused at all about what you should do on social media, any of that stuff, just stop, take a deep breath, and just think to yourself, okay, I'm overthinking, I'm stuck in my own head, and I need to break out of it. And there's some really simple things you can do. So as I say, having an ongoing sort of daily routine in the morning of raising your energy, that will help get out of your head. Also, sometimes you just have to break the pattern. If you've been stuck in the office or stuck behind your computer for a long time, that can get you a bit stuck as well, because the energy's just stuck, isn't it, generally? So, get outside into nature, or listen to some music that you like, or you know, go and spend time with your pet, or have coffee with a friend. Do something that breaks you out of that pattern, because that will also get you out of your overthinking and get you out of your head and get you back in a more sort of balanced place. So let's have a look. Got lots of comments from Sally here. It can be quite a vulnerable feeling and it takes guts. Yeah, no, that's true, Sally. But actually that being authentic and being more genuine, rather than thinking what should, you know, what should I do, is actually what's going to get you to connection. And you'll find actually that the more that if you come from, you know, more of a heart space rather than a head space, that you'll see your engagement go up a lot on social media. I've seen a massive increase in following and engagement and people reaching out and people wanting to work with me since I've been sort of consciously getting myself out of this overthinking mode. Totally relate to this, and I teach this to my clients too. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And it raising your energy does take away your anxieties too, because again, it's about having self-confidence, and it's about trusting yourself. And also, you know, when you're overthinking, you're thinking, oh, everyone else has already done this, or they've done it better, or, you know, such and such has got a bigger following than me, or they're a better writer than me, or they do this differently or better than me. Actually, when you trust yourself, when you tap in and say, what am I here to do? You know, when you've got that confidence in yourself, you start exuding confidence and certainty, and that's really, really attractive to the people that you want to work with. So yeah, it is scary. It is scary, but actually it makes, you know, when people talk about marketing yourself authentically, and I always used to think, well, logically I understand, yes, you've got to be yourself, but what does that actually mean? How do you actually do it? What does it actually mean to be authentic? Well, it is just about it's about doing the inner work and not looking outside, not overthinking, and trusting yourself and thinking, I've got a value, I've got a message to share, and what I do is important. It might not be important to the whole world, but it's important to the people that are going to resonate with, and that's the important thing. So Sally says, I had a light bulb moment yesterday. I was stressing over social media funnels. Oh gosh, yeah, finding new clients. Reminded that the content that Prezi put out was a very personal one. Yep, just trying to... Thank you for all these comments, Sally. It's great to have this conversation. It was a very personal one, and now I'm not using a funnel. I'm creating more content from a personal point of view. Brilliant. Yeah, and there's, you know, there's no right or wrong about funnels or anything else, but I know I had a coffee with a lady yesterday, potential client who I've known for a long time actually, and you know, we got into one of those conversations about all the things that, you know, she wanted to do and could do, and she started to say, well, should I be doing this and should I be doing that, and, you know, you tell me, what should I be doing? And I think, you know, we do have a tendency, don't we, as humans, to sometimes to want to be told what to do. And that's why, I mean, in my program, the Social Media Accelerator, I teach a framework, but how you apply the framework to your business is different for everybody. It's not, you have to do this and you have to do, you know, because I think when you start saying you have to do this and here's a cookie cutter, that's when things all go to pieces, and that's when people get stressed. And if you feel stressed about your marketing and your social media, it means that you're in your head, because again, you're thinking, should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? What if this? What if that? That's all of that confusion is all around overthinking. Was actually when you get out of that mode and get into your sort of, I'm trying to think what the word is for the opposite of overthinking. I'm just going to call it being in flow. You know, that lovely feeling when everything just naturally flows out. And I think that's what you're talking about, Sally, of, you know, you just naturally, out comes the copy, out comes, you know, your sales letter. You're not overthinking it. It's just flowing out of you nicely, and people love it. So thanks so much. I don't know who else is here on the call, but if you've got any questions, or if you're watching this a replay, I'd love to know what you think. Sally, thank you so much for being here live and for having a chat. And it's good to know I'm not the only person who overthinks. And sometimes, you know, we have these confusions and doubts and fears and concerns. And it's quite nice to know actually that there's a reason for that. It's not because there's anything wrong with us or that we don't know what we're doing, or you know, it's not anything negative about us. It's just we have to get into a different zone, if you like. We've got to get out of the head zone and into the heart zone. All right, Sally, and as I say, if you're watching here live, and if you're in the group as well, I'm on my page here, which gets syndicated through to the group. I'll go and check messages. But yeah, I'd love to know what you think, and hope you found some of these tips useful. I'm going to be doing a lot more on getting into flow, energetic marketing, because yeah, it's all very well having the framework, and I love to teach the how-tos and the frameworks and the step-by-steps, but you've got to be yourself as well to make it work. And that for me over the last few years. You can reach success at a certain level, but you'll find when you get stuck and you hit a plateau or a crossroads, which is, I mean, I have done recently, I talked about that, which is why I'm rebranding. When you get stuck, it's because you can't push through to the next level when you get stuck and you're overthinking. So I'm going to be sharing a lot more about some of the things I've done to sort of break through to that next level and to solve some of these things that I've been banging my head against recently. So thanks so much, guys. Then I'll speak to you soon and see you in the social media success group. All right, have a great week. Take care. Bye.